and then put this in here. The Viking waitress doesn't have a beard, but she does braid her armpit hair. Well, wouldn't you? I mean, if I had long armpit hair, then I would braid it. And the Viking waitress does not clean the tables. The Vikings themselves clean the tables because they take pride in their bar. Okay, where are we at? We are here. So I was trying some test stuff last night. I had a couple hours to work on it and got absolutely nowhere. So I think that yes, we have it in there, and yes, it's working, but it's not totally working. There's a few things missing from it. From like a perfect example is we can't select something in the inventory and use it. We have the inventory, we can pick things up and put it in it, but we can't select it. We can't, another one is we can't, we can't save it. Like when in between levels, our game saves. So when we're walking between levels and in that save thing, for some reason it's not making the data structure correctly to be saved. So that's not a good thing. Why this didn't come up, I don't know. Let's turn this on. That is on. Weird. Okay, so there is stuff in there. I know this is open. It will, now it's open. So yeah, so in our save, which is this right here, I was trying to get it to save the data like it saves everything else, because it does a save in between when we walk from room to room. It's just automatic. But the data structure for it doesn't work. So I was looking at other ways to do the inventory. And there are other ways, and I have got it, I do have it working to a degree. Not enough, but let's go here, and then builds, and then package, survey says. So what I'm going to have to do is over the weekend build the whole thing out and make it work so that we can move on, because it's kind of ridiculous. It also gave me the realization that in the long run we're going to have to rebuild the whole game anyway. So like you can see the fragment piece in the back. Let me see if this thing came up. It did not. Okay. What is that? That is not what we wanted to bring up. This is what we wanted to bring up. So if you look, you can see in the back it says piece 2. Found piece 2. It shouldn't be showing up there, but it does. And it does this. So if I were to walk over to this other piece, it'd be this, which is piece 1, it would pick it up. But I still can't use it. So I still can't select it, which is what we need to be able to do in order to make it work. The problem is the code from Sarah Spalding's tutorial doesn't mesh with the code for this. And that's a problem. So what I need to do is I need to, instead of going to this screen, which is the startup screen, we need to actually go take it to a better startup screen, the correct startup screen. So it's not doing that. And that is what I was looking for. So we need to find the go-tos for the startup screens. So I think it's, yeah, we'll just go room. Let's see, global target equals -1. That is correct. This one goes to startup, which is the -1, which was this. This is our, this one up here is our global, is target 1. Or it's undefined. So what I need to find is where the original startup room is. Go to room start. And because, oh, I see what's going on. Because we went to that room, it's not right. We need to go from our startup room. Where does this one send it? It actually sends us with this step, I believe. Yeah. Room transition to river. So this is keyboard, enter, backspace, press key, blah, 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 blah. So this is where it should start. It should start at the river, which is where we want it to start. But it's not getting to this. So let's put a button. Oh no, because we can't do a debug because it screws the camera up. I missed it. Joyray bar. What do you mean by use it? You have to be more specific. Oh, when I mean by use it for the inventory is once we have something in inventory, which is what we put in yesterday, including our old inventory too, and I can show you that too, is if I want to hand the piece that we have in there to the otter, which is where that piece goes, I can't select it and hand it to the otter. That's what I mean by use it. Let's open this back up. And we'll go back to here. So we'll go here and you can see that we have this piece up here, right? This piece is actually in the inventory system that I just put in. There's like 1,000 different ways to do inventory systems. I'm trying to find the one that works right for us. Now, if I go over and picked up this other piece, it puts it in the inventory, like so. So it's there. But I don't have the right code to select it in the inventory. So I can't move over and grab it and then use it. So I can't grab fountain piece 1 and then go to, and this is a whole nother problem, is I'm going to have to put a teleport in here. In fact, let's see let me see if I'm right on this. Let me try something silly. I'm going to go to room 1. Where I am looking at the wrong page. I'm supposed to be over here. Okay, so let's go to our parent, which is where we're going. We're going to put a teleport in. Sprites. We need the sprites. Okay, where's my blue box? Oh no, it's an object, that's right. Object, there we are. Room exit. Let's put it down here. And let's do some things on it. Variable, we're gonna make this just for fun. We'll make that 200. By 200. And we'll put it in. Oh, we're gonna put it in. Where are we at? Graveyard. No, we want the family crypt. R. No, we need a little R. Did I spell that right? Probably not. Okay. Now I'll be able to actually get out of this room and see if we can go into the rest of the world, but I don't know if it's going to keep it, which is the problem. So let me do this. Before I build, let me go to the family crypt. I'm going to drop that piece in there again. I'm going to drop 2 versions in there. Let's go. Scripts. Nope. Up here. Not that. We want the gods, pieces, mountain. We want that one in there, and we want this one in there. We'll see if either one of them works. Okay, save and then build. Okay, so wait for OBS to pick it up. All right. So we go into there. It says it's not there. We grab this one over here. Then we walk into the exit. And we're here. So, yes. So we say, yes, we're going to help you. And we have piece 1. And piece 2 in there, but she doesn't recognize it and we can't use it. So that is where our problem is. We can pick up more of them, and it does stack them, but I do have to make separate. We'll put it back on the other side like we have in our other build. But I have the same problem with this one that I had with the last one, in that if we go to our last build, which was the 10A build, because right now we're on, this one is 11A because I was trying some stuff out last night. Let's go to 10A. The problem is that for some reason the new code is incompatible with the code that we had before, and I think it has to do with the newer version stuff. Because what I want to do is just keep it simple like I have in the 10A version, which is this one, which we will show you in a second here. And then save it. But the version in the 11A one is a constructor version, which seems to be a cleaner way to do inventories. And also a cleaner way to actually save the data. So if we turn that on, when he picks stuff up, oops, just having something clean over there on the side just makes more sense to me. To where you can go in and then the goal being to be able to select it and then just use it. But as we have shown before, if I leave the room, those disappear. You know, so it doesn't save our inventory from the last screen. And if we just go and pick up the pieces, like there's one, and we go back to the otter, she doesn't recognize that we have it. And which means that she doesn't do her animation where she puts the piece on the fountain to put it back together. So our 2 problems are that we need to be able to show them better on the right side. I think they're a little bit too big, but we'll put little boxes around them and that'll be fine. You know, but is be able to save between screens like it saves everything else, because it saves all the other stuff. Also, we have to separate it out from this menu up here in the corner, this one, so that we can still use our bow and arrow and stuff like that without having to go into the inventory each time. And I think that actually might be an easy fix to just do this. If we go back here and take those items out of, or rather, if we have two, if we break it into two groups, let's go back to our objects here. And if we have these items, which are the ones that are things that can be picked up in the menu system, which is this stuff. I think putting our collectible stuff into here was a mistake. So I think that if we took this out, no, this stays. All of this should be correct. It's where did we screw up? I think we screwed up here by putting all this stuff in this as opposed to making its own controller. It should have been its own controller. So let's try this. Let's duplicate this and make this make an inventory controller. Oh, that lawnmower outside is loud. Can you guys hear that? No. Okay. And then we take, let's see. We go back to this one. We take the things out that shouldn't be there. So not the instant. Let's see. Bump. Reads. Piece. Logs. Piece. Bomb drop we keep. Wax. Coins we keep. Piece. Rock. Stick. Hat. No, I think the hat stays in there because it's a carryable piece. Remove childs. Okay, then we go to our inventory collectibles and we remove, oh, it didn't even save them. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so those go in there. Menu items. Nope, we don't need those. Those stay in the other one. Quest items go in here. Text. Nope. Our pieces. Yeah, we want all 5 of these be in there. And we make this one the collectibles one for inventory. So all of this should stay the same. No, it just needs to be the part for. Yeah. So when we call that, this is our original collectible, so we took everything out of there. I believe that we have inherit. This is our flashes, all that stuff. Let's see how badly we broke everything, because there's still a piece that is missing. Oh, it's in our infinite initial room. So what we have in here is our O game. And we want our collectible and our other in here as well. So this one and this one, I believe, go in here as well. And nothing else should be there. And we probably broke it, so let's see what... Oh wait, we need to go to our knit room, which is where we're at. We need to go O game. Creation code. Oh no, can't see the O game. Actually go to it. Randomize, blah, blah, blah. Yep. So should be the correct room. That should be correct. Game restart is R. Okay. I am missing a change somewhere. I'm just trying to remember where the hell it is. Okay, slot, save, string. Yeah, we need to build that for... Okay. Okay, let's go room then. You have to find the one that is starts on this one. Because they're definitely different. So we need to find the everywhere where this is. Nowhere. Okay, let's build it and see if it breaks. Cannot guarantee I have it right, but you get the basic ideas here of what we're trying to do, I think. If not, I will stop and try to explain a little bit better. Basically, what I notice is this, is our old menu of just the hearts, the things that we pick up for different stuff does not function anymore. And I think it's because we built this on top of that using the same code, even though that code should not have been used for that. We should have made it a whole separate piece. Okay, what is the version? That is should be this one. Alrighty. Let's see what it does. First off, let's chop a tree down and see what happens. Okay, so it's still not picking up the gold, but it will pick up the gold in our inventory, yeah. So it is still not working, right? But now our objects aren't being picked up correctly either. Yep. Ah, broke it good. So even though he picks up the objects, he doesn't, they don't actually go into his inventory, so. He doesn't pick those ones up at all anymore. Probably won't pick up these ones up here either. Oh, he did. He did pick them up. But did they go in the inventory? The hat did. All because the hat's still in the first one. So it's still looking at the first one. We haven't redirected it to the second. That's good to know. So the first one is still collecting stuff, which is this one up here. This one is not collecting things. This one is. So we need to look at the code and see where we made a change that Just tell it to put it in the other spot. Because this is the collect script, which is all correct. So create, it's got to be in here. Nope, it's not in here. We didn't touch the. Inherit in, yeah, so it does inherit from this parent. Let's go to P entity and see. What it's doing. Because I still like the idea of it being separate. Just for some reason, though, it just isn't. It isn't working. Okay, fragments. Yeah, this goes into the other one. Nothing goes into. Oh. Blah, 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 blah. It should be in here. Okay, so this should be. This is the code that puts together the items in the menu. Let me go back to our knit room and remove a few things and try to get it back to where it was in the first place. Take these two out. Actually, we'll just take the one out. Take the new one out. Do an F5. No, not an F5. Don't do that. You will crash everything out. Okay. Well, it didn't crash. It's still putting it over everything over there, though. Or a few things over there. Yeah, so it's still things in the first item. So somewhere in that code, it's putting it in the wrong place. So if we can get that back to the right place. Actually, the coins are the only thing that need to go over here. The hat actually stays, is a collectible item, which will go in the base inventory. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to separate out the original inventory we had from the inventory that we're building, so that all of this stuff up here is standalone. So we'll always be collecting the gold. We'll always be getting arrows and all the things for our weapons, our hook, all that. What I might have to do is go back to version 7, which is why we made this versioning in the first place, is so that if we screw something up, we can go back. So we can go back to version 7, and we can, which is our last fully working version, the old way, and then start to add the inventory in it using completely different things. We have to not use stuff we've already created. It has to be a standalone, and we'll have to do it. I want to do it with the structures. That just seems like a cleaner thing to do. So I will rebuild that, and that'll be good. Because we started very, very late today, so we're in a rush here. So let's see why it's not going where it's supposed to be going. Actually, let's do this. Let's go back and load up 7. Load in progress 7, which should be a clean slate version that uses the old way and still works the way it was before we did any of the inventory stuff at all. Let's do a build. We'll make sure everything works. And this is where we will build our new inventory system, and we'll make this version 12 and start from there and see what happens. That way we can keep our resolution, we can do all those things, and interesting. That should not be the way that started. I overwrote 7. That's not good. So that means we're going to have to go back to 6. We can look at 8 and see if it was a clean one. See what 8 was. Let's go back here. We need to get it to recognize 8. Okay, I think this one was correct. Before we started, yeah, this is before we started playing around with the inventory stuff. Use the fountain, blah, 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 yeah. We've already put the first piece up. That's what's up there. He should be able to walk into the next room with that on his head. He has. That's good. Yep, we haven't put anything else in there. We do have coins and stuff going into the top menu on the left. Okay. So this is what we're going to go back to 8. And in 8, we're going to build the new inventory system separate from that inventory system. So we have the we can do all the cool stuff with it. We just need to do 2 things, or several things. One is, do not do anything that touches that menu. Because we want to be able to keep our bombs. We want to be able to keep all that stuff. We want to be able to collect our coins. You know, that is all very important. That way we can go and be able to find arrows and stuff, which we have 15 arrows right now. We want to keep that. Actually, it looks like we need some more gold. Oh, oops. Go ahead, throw it. Thank you. Oh, that's interesting. Our little tree stumps are gone. They are all gone. Yeah, 8 has some issues, but that's okay. We'll fix them. We'll go up here, and we need to buy that. Okay, so that is all still working, because when we move from room to room, you can see that it saves that up in the top, and that's what we want to do. But we wanted to do the same thing with the inventory. So by making it a constructor, we can save the data that the constructor uses to create the inventory, to fill the inventory, to refill the inventory every time we leave and come into a room. Because that seems to be the way the room saves work. And what this will allow us to do is when we pick up things, we can, it will keep them in our inventory. We also have to change the resolution back to the right size. Still way big size on that one. But there's actual code that when we change rooms from left to right, so if we do this, that reloads, that makes a save of our game, and then reloads this inventory up here when we enter the new room. We just have to do the same thing with our inventory. And that's where I'm having trouble, because I'm hoping that using constructors, because of the way constructors are built, it'll be a lot easier to save the stuff. See, even this, like, you can't pick that up. You have to pick it up the old way and carry it around, because you would have to bring it back to her. So, and somehow, and I don't know how, we have one out here, which I don't know why we have one out here. Which also leads to the question is, do we want to, one of the things that the new inventory system does is it just lets us walk near something and pick it up. Do we want this is still the old art here too. Do we want it to be able to do that, or do we want it to auto pick it up, or do we want them to have to pick it up? And it's a silly thing, but it's something that I was thinking about, is how would we do that? So if he picks it up, instead of holding it up over his head, it goes into the inventory. Is how I would like it to work. But some things, I'm pretty sure we could probably mark some things as things that can be picked up and have to be carried over to a person. It doesn't go into the inventory. But I think all quest items should go into the inventory. And then you have to select them to give them to the person that you're standing in front of. At least that's the way I think it's going to work. We will see. Yeah, okay, we've got about 20 minutes. So, yeah, so we need to change the resolution back to this one on this one. And then, yeah, this still has the old sticks. So that all seems to be working. Yeah, everything still works. Okay. I'm just making sure everything still works so that when we go over to the other one, it's not going to be a problem. I guess I'm just going to have to check every time and see. And see if this is still working the way it's supposed to. Yeah, see, those should be put in inventory because this is the stuff that she needs to make matches for us. Of course, now that I put it behind there, I'll never be able to pick it up. Oh, no, I was able to. Cool. Cool, cool. But this was another thing is I wanted to be able to get as many things as we need without having to carry every single piece back one at a time. That just seemed like a big problem to me. Okay, we'll see. Want to come over this way? A little more. Fine, don't. Okay, so that all still works. Yay. Yeah, because it's silly that he has to. Just silly. We've talked about it. Doesn't matter. Found my hat. Blah 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 blah. Thanks. Okay. Now he has his hat on. Okay, that still works. That's we only had one piece put together for that, so yeah. Quantum teleporting arrow. Go right through the wall. At least I didn't miss all the stream today. Well, I'm glad you could join us. We're just running way late. Yeah, we're almost done here. But that's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to, since I know that this one works, this is number 8. I will save this one as 12. And then I will go in and build the inventory system with the new inventory system in a separate set of objects, and not include anything that goes into this menu. This menu will always be standalone for itself because this is your day-to-day action menu. This is your picking things up and taking them. And then we will find out how to select it. I will put in how I found a couple more YouTube videos on how to make things selectable in an inventory. Then hopefully when we make them selectable, then we can hand them to like the Otter and stuff like that to put things together. And then we'll have the basic system for doing that. And yeah, I'm sorry that it's delayed. The thing is I've never done this part of the job before, so I'm learning. You know, and that's all you can really do is try to learn. But I'm glad that this is all working now. Glad that we got this working again. That's why it's always important to save iterations when you're working on stuff, because you're going to break things. You're going to break things, you're going to do things wrong, and you got to fix them. And sometimes fixing them means going back to what you did before and hoping for the best. Because making games is hard. Like they say, it's all shits and giggles until someone giggles and shits. I love this shirt. Today's shirt made me laugh. I had to buy it. Just wondering, does the quest giver wear the hat, or does it have a new skin? It has a new skin. Basically what it happens is when you bring the hat back to him, he changes his sprite out to a sprite with him with the hat on. Yeah, it's the same thing that we used for this up here. So in fact, let me go into this room. I'm going to go and delete, I'm going to restart this, but I'm going to delete our saves for number 8. And I'll show you what we were doing before we got into this inventory thing. And I just kind of, let me go to saves and take the saves out of this one. We're in number 8. That what we called it? Yeah, this is 8, so we'll delete those. We will restart number 8. Which should have no saves in it now. Wait for you guys to catch up. Okay. So no saves. We go into the room, starts us up here. Okay. So if we go down, we won't worry about that quest right now because we don't have the parts for it. The cat will ask for the hat. I go, can you go find it for me? And it's up in the cave. We're not going to do the cave again right now, but the same thing that does that does this. So if we go here, the Otter says, bring us the pieces. We have to fix the fountain first before you can talk to the gods type thing. So if we pick up piece 1 up here and bring it back to her and talk to her again, then you can see she puts the piece on there. And all it's doing is just changing out the sprite to have that on there. Now, in this particular case, we haven't changed everything up, but there are other pieces, but we don't have those programmed into the system yet. It's the same thing with the hat. It just changes the sprite out to have that hat on it. And so in this, it just changes the sprite out to have that one piece up there and working. As long as it's not that new sprite plus T. No, let's see, what was it named? I think it's just cat with hat. For our sprites. Entities. We have cutesy, and we have cutesy with hat. And that's all it's doing, is changing between that one and this one. And it doesn't run, it doesn't do anything else, it just stands, so. It's an easy and simple way to do it, and keeps you from having to align the hat to them. I'm sure it has saved some kind of processor time or memory because it's just one single sprite instead of two. But yeah. And for the fountain, what I did was we go to pieces fountain. So we have the fountain, and then we have the fountain with the first piece on it, the fountain with oh, actually it's what is this one? Nope. Okay, where did I put it? Originally I had built it this way, which is let me find the right sprite for it here. No, I must have gotten rid of it. Okay. Originally I built it with frames, and then it would just show the frame, but the code didn't like that. So let me see if it if I kept it. No, I did not. Not on that one. Go up here to this one.
Inid Nunum says, everyone, remember to be hydrated for our raid.
Oh, I didn't save it. Because originally I had it as a single fountain with all the frames in it. Thinking, okay, well, we'll save time. There was an animation that you would just turn on. Depending on what piece he brought back, the auto would build it. So, but I ended up going back and saying, okay, well, here it is broken. Here it is with the one piece, and then you would continue putting sprites in with the pieces where it just changes it out. Was the plan until it got to the full fountain. But even with the full fountain, I would have to make that an animation because we want the water to be running. Because we want the fountain to be fully operational. So. But yeah, cool stuff. And we will get there. I need to abandon this inventory. This one just like, I think it still works, but it's just, I had so much trouble with it and getting it to actually play right. I don't think it's in this one, but we'll look real quick. Did I leave it in this one? No, I didn't leave it in this one. So yeah, it's not, the image is in there, but the actual code for it is not. So we did not lose it. It just did not work. Ah, no, it is in there. So yeah, but as you can see, number one, it should freeze the screen, and it's not. And number two, it just keeps doing weird stuff. And it's too much of the inventory is too much for what we're actually doing for this game. It's overkill for what we're doing. So going to the simpler menu, or a simpler inventory on the side just makes sense to me. And then, yeah, it's just going to be easier. At least I think it's going to be easier. But I want to make sure that our menu on the left there keeps working. Because right now, as soon as that menu system came up, it stopped working. Our gold was erased, everything was erased. Ah, no, it's still got the gold, okay. All right, now let's see if it's still there when we go over here. Yeah, it's still there. So all the save stuff that we did, it is still seen, but because I removed all the saves, it's tearing everything apart, or it's not showing anything anymore. So we'll have to go to the blacksmith and buy all new equipment, but that's okay. Okay, we need about 100 gold to buy everything back. Okay. Should save it between, yep. But things that I know now is we need to have a separate sprite for the side inventory, which is, we have to make it the right size. We need to have a second font so that it's a smaller font, but a clean font that we can see things with. Okay. The reason I'm putting that stuff in there, because when I work on it this weekend, I want to make sure that I am, that information is staying up there. So, and we are almost out of time. When is our next? Okay, 3 minutes. Okay, so let's save this out. Let's save this out as number 12 so that we have. It doesn't look like I put any of that menu system in here. At least that's what I'm hoping. Even though the artwork looks like it's in here, it doesn't look like we make this number 12. We'll make it 12A. And then let's look at sprites real quick. This one's a mess. This was before we cleaned a lot of stuff up. Yeah, all of these things are going to need to be taken out. So we'll find those and take them all out and then take all the code out for them. This stuff. These are all of our pieces for the old menu. That's going to have to all be ripped out. Maybe I'll have to go. No, 7 was screwed up. So yeah, we'll keep this, clean that stuff out, and then build the new one as a separate system that is not part of the original. Everything must go sale. Do this easy way. So everywhere where there's a reference, all that stuff needs to come out. Pull all that out, and then down here, go down here, and we'll still need those, but God. Yeah, this is before I went through and cleaned all this stuff up. What is this script doing in here? Function, script. That script does not do anything. Delete script 30. Yeah, here's our tile set. Why is our tile set there and not down here? Weird. Well, because it's the sprite for it. Okay, we got zombies coming here soon. Let us do this. Let us close that. Open that. Close this. We'll let the zombies run over this. Then we'll do our raid. I'm glad that there's a weekend because now I can go through and fix all that, and then we can move on with actually getting our game worked on. At least that's my belief. That is what I believe will happen. So I have a couple obligations over the weekend, and we'll get those done. And every waking moment other than that will be spent here working on this. So that is what I will do. Rage, 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 rude. Okay, the zombies are the definition of insanity. They keep coming back for brains, yet they know they can't find any. That is true. Bloop. They mean well, though. Gotta give them that. Let's get this set up. 09 is on Monday. And we need to get our screen up. Hello, welcome back. Welcome back. Throw your ticket out. Let's do our end here. Say goodbye to game dev for now.